We're going to look at how you can compare fractions, and I want to throw this in at the very beginning and see if you remember it at the end. But basically, whenever you see a mixed number, it's got a whole number and a fraction, I want you to turn it into an improper fraction, and this is how you do it. You always take the whole number and you multiply it by the denominator. So let's go through here and put this into notes so you can understand it. And as you can see, 1 times 2 equals 2. The next thing that you do, you take this 2 that you got right here from your first step, and let's just go ahead and highlight that again, this 2. So we bring it down here to this step, and we're going to add the numerator to it. That's the top number of this mixed number. So now we're going to take that top number, the numerator, and we're going to add it to it, and 2 plus 1 equals 3. After you get this newest number, this 3, you're going to take that new number and use it as a numerator. So let's go ahead and turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. The top number, the numerator, is going to be the 3. That's where we get it from. And then keep the same denominator. What was our denominator? That's your bottom number of the fraction. That's a 2. There you have it. So 1/2 equals 3/2. Please remember that if you're trying to compare two fractions and one of them is a mixed number, turn it into an improper fraction. Then you can compare. Well, how do we compare? Let's take a look at this. Compare 6/8 and 2/4. Get a common denominator. That's the same bottom number. So you can compare the numerator, the top number. They don't have the same denominator, so we need to change that. And this is what we can do. You can simplify sometimes. The 6/8 can simplify down to 3/4. How do you do that? You divide top and bottom by, well, let me put it on the other side. Divide top and bottom by the same number. In this case, it's 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's one way. And so now we have the same common denominator. Which one's bigger, the 3 or the 2? Well, it's this one. So 6/8 is bigger than 2/4. You also have the other option, in case you don't like division, of just making it bigger. Can we turn this 4 into an 8? Yeah, times it by 2. So since I times the bottom by 2, times the top by 2. And this becomes 4/8. Well, you tell me, what's bigger, 4 or 6? 6 is still bigger than the 4, so 6/8 is still bigger than 2/4. So that's the basic idea that we have going there. And there's not a specific rule about whether you multiply one or you divide the other or you change both. All that we care about is doing something that gets both of your fractions with a common denominator, that same bottom number. Then you can compare the top. So let's go through and get you some practice. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Pause the video, go and compare. When you're ready, hit play, and we'll go check it out. Okay, so here I see that I have 1/2, and that's a denominator of 2. And we've got a denominator of 8 over here, so I decided to make both of them 8. How did I do it? I multiplied this by 4, and I multiplied the top number by 4. So that became 4/8. Which one's bigger, a 7 or a 4? A 7 is bigger, so 7/8 is bigger than 1/2. Same thing's kind of happening down here for number 2. We have a slightly different issue. I can't simplify this down to make this 8 into a 6, and I can't multiply this by an easy number to make it into an 8. So I need to go find a least common multiple, or basically, what can I turn them both into? Here's a rule of thumb. How about we just multiply them together? What's 6 times 8? 48. So there we have it. I can turn both of them into 48s. It's not the least common multiple, but it's an easy trick. What can I multiply 8 by to make it into 48? 6. So what's 3 times 6? 18. And then over on this side, what do I have to multiply the 6 by to make it 48? 6 times 8. So 6 times 8 is 48. And this 4 right here, I'm going to multiply it by 8 also. So 4 times 8 is 32. 32 is definitely bigger than 18. So this one, 4/6 is bigger than 3/8. Number 3 is a lot easier. I think you probably realize that too. All you had to do is multiply this 8 by 2 and the 9 by 2, and you got 18/16. Don't worry if this is an improper fraction. Now we have the same common denominator. That means the same bottom number, and 18 is obviously bigger than 2. So we know for sure that 9/8 is bigger than 2/16. Now, here's the last two problems that I want to give you. Numbers 4 and 5. 5/8 and 3/7, and 1 1/3 and 4/3. So go check those, and then we'll see how you're doing. Okay, in this case, 56 was our common denominator, is one way that you could do it. 8 times 7 is 56, so 5 times 7 is 35. We got to multiply top and bottom here by 8, so 8 times 7 is 56, 3 times 8 is 24. Well, 35 is bigger than 24, so 5/8 is bigger. And then here's the last one. Remember, we're not just comparing the fractions, we're doing a mixed number to a fraction. I said we need to turn this into a improper fraction whenever we do that, and that equals 4/3. And the other one's 4/3, so they're both equal to each other. So hopefully this just kind of pulls back old skills, so that way you can remember how to do it in case you forgot.